Hey there, baseball fans. We're here, folks. The postseason is here. One of the best sports sprints out there. Of course, the postseason's always been a sprint. And right now, even with the current extended format, it's about barely over a month to crown a champion. But it's going to be an amazing, amazing journey. And it all starts in, a matter of hours. But yeah, it is the first of the month, the 1st of October, and the postseason is upon us. It starts with the wild card series, the best of 3 wild card series. And without further ado, here are the series. Seriously, how the hell do the Astros keep making it? Remember when this team sucked to start the season? Remember when the Yankees destroyed them? Remember when they had that terrible April and they were leagues behind the Mariners in the AL West? We all had a lot of fun. We were laughing at them. Unfortunately, the Astros heard that, and as the meme goes, they took it personally. So, all they did was just go on a big winning tear and win a division yet again because we can't have nice things. Yeah, 7 division titles in 8 years, all 7 in a full season. The only time they didn't win the division was in 2020. That was the shortened year, the COVID shortened year. So, yeah, Houston's in it again, but they had to play the wild card. They had to play the wild card series this time because I think the last couple times they didn't have to do that. Actually, I'll take that back. The only 2 other years that this format existed, they haven't had to play the wild card series, but they got to do it now. And their opponents, Detroit Tigers. Detroit. I remember I was covering this whole crazy race this year. I was writing about it, and I didn't mention the Tigers. And I'm a bit ashamed that I didn't. Not until the one of the most recent stories, because they were just coming on up. Because when the month of September started, they kind of didn't have a chance. There were 4 teams ahead of them. The 3 wild card spots and the Red Sox, if you can believe that, were actually ahead of Detroit in the standings. All that changed when Detroit started winning games, winning series, and just tearing through the remaining schedule. So here they are in the postseason for the first time in a decade. And it'll be the Astros and Tigers in that series. So, yeah, the Royals, that's another fascinating story. So last year, they lose 106 games. And then this year, they improved by 30 games. They win 86, and they get in. It's amazing. It's amazing. And they really had such a big turnaround. You know, Bobby Witt Jr. kind of helped with that. Of course, they still had Sal Perez hitting everything. Of course, Salvador Perez was part of that the 2015 championship run. Of course, then you have the Orioles. The Orioles, of course, we all know what happened last year. They won 101 games. They win the division. Now, their postseason stay was shorter than they expected, but the expectations were there. And they were going toe-to-toe with the Yankees in that division. But right around late August into September, they start falling off a bit. They fell off to the point where the division was completely out of reach. They didn't win the division, but they managed to get into the postseason as a wild card. They won 91 games, which is a slight decline from last year. But when you win 100, you're going to expect to go down just a bit, you know. But But the point is, they made it. They got a good crop of hitters. It should be a very interesting series between the Royals and the Orioles. You know, yeah, it was just a crazy ending. And, of course, thanks to Hurricane Helene, the Mets and Braves had to play a doubleheader on what was supposed to be the season's the off day, that bridge day between the end of the season and the postseason. And it was the Mets and Braves playing each other. And, of course, both teams were one win away. From reaching the postseason. And of course the Mets got the win first. The Mets got the win first, and they took Game 1 in such weird comeback fashion. It was insane. They were down 3-0. They hadn't had anything, and then the eighth inning they explode for 6 runs. So it looked like they were going to win it right there, but the Braves come back, score 4. But Lindor hits that 2-run shot in the top of the ninth, and the score holds. So the Mets got in, and they end up as the number 6 seed, which has been a magical spot ever since this format started in the National League. Because think about it, the number six seed in the National League made the World Series both times. It was Philadelphia in 22. It was Arizona last year. Will it be the Mets this year? They play the Brewers. The Brewers haven't had a lot of playoff success lately. Of course, last year they won the division, but their performance in that wild card series was awful. Also, they lost to Arizona in that series. So who knows? Maybe the Mets take them out. But it's going to be quite interesting to see. The Braves have been the ultimate never-give-up story this year. They've been injured all to hell all year. All to hell. Literally, nearly everybody in importance was sidelined. And yet they managed to stay afloat somehow. And with the way the things worked out, they stayed ahead of the playoff line by percentage points. But again, the Mets needed a win and the Braves needed a win. The Mets got their win first, so the Braves were kind of in trouble. They needed to win to stay alive, because if they didn't, they'd be gone. And Arizona would be in their place. Instead, this time they hold on. They shut down the Mets in Game 2 of that doubleheader, and the Braves got in. Their 7th straight postseason appearance. But it's kind of mirroring the other streak they had in the 90s. Because, think about it. 7 straight postseason appearances. 1 ring to show for it. That was in 21. Braves have won a postseason series since then. And because remember, both times they were mollywhopped by the Phillies. So we'll see what happens here. They have the Padres in this wild card series. Now, the Padres are always interesting because they've established themselves for the last 2 or 3 years as the top competition against the Dodgers in that the NL West. And the Dodgers have been slipping a few times, but the Padres haven't capitalized on it. However, they are part of this big dance. So we'll see how that series goes. As far as, of course, as you know, it's a set bracket. As far as the next round, the winner between Houston and Detroit plays the Cleveland Guardians. And the winner of the Kansas City-Baltimore series plays these guys, the Yankees. In the National League, the winner of the Mets-Brewers series plays the Phillies. And the winner of the Braves-Padres series faces the Dodgers. It's a pretty interesting season. The White Sox set the loss record, 121 losses, yet ironically, they ended... Ironically, in their final week, they won 5 out of 6. Nobody won 100 games. First time in a decade that's happened. Nobody won 100 games this year. The highest win total this year was 98. That was the Dodgers. The Phillies had 96 wins. The Yankees finished with 94. 3 teams did lose 100. Other than the White Sox, the Marlins and the Rockies lost 100. The Marlins lost 100 even. The Rockies lost 101 games. The Angels were close. They lost 99, but that's a franchise record. They've never lost 100 games. That's something to boast about. They never had a 100-loss season. And also, of course, when the split happened in that doubleheader, that eliminated the Diamondbacks from postseason contention. So for the first time since 2007, neither defending pennant winner, neither of the previous year's World Series teams are in the postseason because Texas is out too. So it's pretty crazy. So there's going to be completely new teams playing for that Commissioner's Trophy. So that's going to be interesting. So that is my preview of the Wild Card Series.